Hey guys, it's your girl Keri, and today I have a bootleg vlog type video that I never planned to record. A quick DIY idea popped into my head for some artwork in my mother's master bedroom. I wasn't sure of how it was going to turn out, but it turned out beautiful, so I thought I would use my iPhone to capture a couple of snippets of the process. My apologies for all of the bootleggedness in this video, but hopefully you're inspired and your creative juices get stirred up. So I went to my craft room to look for some fabric that may match her decor, and I found this leftover remnant of Robin's Egg Blue velvet fabric that I used in my room years ago, and it was the perfect match. I then took a frame that we found at Hobby Lobby on clearance for $6.50, and I placed that on top of the blue fabric. Next, we found some sculptural metal wall art leaves at World Market, and they were originally $69.99 but on sale for 30% off. These were perfect because my mom's room is kind of like a romantic Grecian goddess type of vibe, and these laurel wreath style leaves fit in perfectly. So what I'm going to do is take these leaves, this little gold leaf, and put it inside the frame. It's one, and here's the other one. So here is the layout, what we're going to attempt to do, and I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is go downstairs, spray paint that frame, and while the frame is drying, run off to Home Depot to get a wood backing, cut the size of the frame, so then I could wrap the fabric around the wood panel and attach that to the back, and then we'll screw some nails in and attach that sculpture. So the first thing you want to do is measure out your frame, the insert, and after you measure that, you want to and so you're going to measure across, and then you're going to measure up and down that way in order to get your measurement. Then you're going to get a piece of wood cut to the correct size. Again, this is just a mock-up, it's not the right size, but you're going to get a board cut that's going to fit the entire center of the frame, and this can be done at your Home Depot or Lowe's. You take the measurements in and they will cut your board. I have a very thin board here, and again, I had some scrap wood at home, so we did not need to buy anything, but I was able to take my scrap wood in and have them cut it down to size at Home Depot. The next thing you're going to do, if your frame is not the color that you need it to be, in this case this frame is the color that I need it to be, but we're going to act like this was my mock frame. You're going to take the spray paint of your color choice. In my case, I chose gold, and you're just going to go ahead and spray paint that frame. And while that frame is drying, that's when you can go to Home Depot and get your wood cut, so you can maximize your time and use your time efficiently. And so while that's drying, you're getting it cut, and so by the time you come back, this will be dry and ready to go. So your next step is you're going to want to wrap your wood with your fabric. So you're going to lay your fabric right side down. You're going to take your piece of wood, and all you're going to do is wrap that over, and you're just going to staple down all along the entire board until you've completely covered the board. One of the things you want to make sure you're doing when you're attaching your fabric to the board is that you pull extremely taut. You want to make sure you're pulling this really taut because you don't want any gaps or bagginess between the board and the fabric. So after your board is covered, it should look something like this. It's nice and taut and beautiful and smooth. And the next step is to insert your board into your frame. Now there's two ways that this can be achieved depending on what type of frame you have. So in this instance, this particular frame, you're going to put the board behind the frame, and then you're going to nail in the board to the underside of the frame. And then what you'll have is like a recessed piece of artwork. So this is on the back of the frame. So if you're like looking at it from this way, it looks like it's a recessed piece and your artwork will be recessed. Now for the particular artwork that I did, our frame was actually the opposite, the reverse of that. So I had to put our fabric inside, and it came to the front. Our board came to the actual edge of the frame, and you'll see that in a minute. And so our artwork would be standing out from the board. And then the next step is to lay out your artwork or your sculptural work to find out where the correct positioning is going to go, and you're going to drill a nail in that area so that you can hang the artwork. Now here is the hole on the back of the sculpture that will match up with that nail, and I would just hook that on and hang it there. And let me show you the other portion that I did, and also took the Velcro strip and attached it to the back of the sculpture to affix it to the board so I could see where everything needs to line up and attach. And then once it's there and I get all of that together, I will drill a hole through the back side to make this permanent so everything can stay. So let me go ahead and attach this art sculpture and then show you what it looks like. So as you can see right now, without having that Velcro or that nail affixed to the frame, you see that it just dangles and hangs because the weight that's on this particular nail, it just comes down and hangs down. That's why I needed the Velcro. And so what I did was take the Velcro, put it on the back, and then you line it up to where you need it to be, and I kind of press it on there for now, and you'll see that it's pulling the fabric away from the board, but that's okay because I just need to know where I need everything to be. And then we're going to drill a hole behind so that it can stay there permanently, and I'll remove those white Velcro pieces. But let's take a step back and look at our project. Look how beautiful that looks. It looks so elegant, it looks so expensive, but again, it's very inexpensive, and now you have a nice, lovely piece of artwork. And again, there's a couple of minor adjustments that need to be done, but I wanted to share that with you guys. And then down at the bottom, we're going to be adding something very special there, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and I also wanted to share with you, remember how I said it was reverse? If you look on the side, it's coming out and our board is pressed to the front. So our artwork is coming off the frame as opposed to being recessed into the frame. Such a great way to add life to those metal artwork pieces, because a lot of times when you just take the metal artwork and put it directly on the wall, it looks flat and it does not look like it's coming to life. But when you put a frame around it, build a frame and add in the fabrics and all of that, it makes it look more stately, and it brings it, it gives it more depth by adding that three-dimensional component to it. Subscriber poll time. So here's a large blank wall where we place the artwork, and the etagers that are flanking each side of the artwork is empty because I wanted to show how I styled them in a later video. But would you rather see several videos of how I designed each section of the room and where I chose to splurge and save money and my thought process? Or would you rather see the completed room tour first and see how exactly everything came together, and then I do some small separate videos on each area of the room? Leave a comment below to let me know what you vote for. Also, be sure to check out my previous video where I shared my fall tablescape. And until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye, guys.